So I decided to do this kind of unconventionally. Conventionally? Is that even a word? I just wanted to do this. I'm literally filming in like, it's like the laundry room, but we're gonna pretend it's like a spooky closet. I don't know why. I'm just feeling like Halloween vibes. I don't know when this is going to be coming out, and the fact that I'm making this Halloween themed is probably not respectful. I don't know. I've just been in like the weirdest mood all week. It is Saturday. It hasn't even been a week since she has passed away. But I feel like because I've been trying so desperately not to be sad that I'm just like all over the place. I'm filming this now just because there are certain things that I want to remember that happened, so that way they can, like, things that happen can help you. Basically, that's the purpose of me filming this video. Also, I went to Disney Springs and I dressed as a princess today, so that's why I have glitter eyeshadow and earrings on. Then I forgot to take off. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, so I hope this video can help someone either prepare for or feel a little less ridiculous, crazy, pathetic, depressing after losing someone slash a pet. And I don't care what anyone says, losing a pet, especially when you've had them in your life for like a very long time, like that's like losing a family member. And she was very much my child until the end. So anyway, I don't know where I was going to start with this. I guess I can start out with beforehand. So I was luckily blessed, I guess you can call it blessed, with knowing slash planning when she was going to go to the vet, because of, you know, her having cancer for so long. And even though I didn't say this in the vlog, she was supposed to go today, I guess, the Friday the 28th, and we ended up having to bump that ahead earlier by Monday, because that weekend before, won't give you the gory details, but let's just say something very physical and visible happened that made me very concerned. And I ended up having to wait until Monday when their office was open to call them and schedule one ASAP. And I do have to say, first off, everything happened for a reason, and everything happened so perfectly. Like everything, like I was able to let my work know, because I was afraid that I was ending her life too early. That was a big fear of mine, and I was even afraid that the vets would tell me, you know, like, are you sure you don't want to keep her longer? I didn't want to have that on my back. So the fact that something visible that was concerning happened was like, helped me like go along with it basically, and helped tell me, yes, it is time. It was like God saying, yes, now is the time. Two, that said, I was able to go to work on Sunday and discuss it with everyone at work and let them know, hey, I may have to call out on Monday. Hey, this may end up happen. Not that they didn't know that I was going through this anyway, but like sooner than later, basically. I was able to tell everyone on my team that, including my leader, and everyone was awesome about it, by the way. And then Monday morning, or over the weekend, I emailed the vet, and Monday morning they sent me a text saying, hey, we're good for Monday at the time that I wanted it, because I wanted it to be in the afternoon, because I had to give Kiki medicine to basically drug her so she wouldn't fight me. She hated the vet. Basically, long story short, there were so many small details that could have gone wrong, that would have thrown a wrench in my plan on how I wanted things to fall into place, and everything fell into place. Everything worked out. Like, there was no hard feelings or no like regret or guilt or anything. And I mean, to the point where even I didn't even know there was a Starbucks right around the corner from my vet. Like, I did not even realize that. I would have gone to Starbucks every time I took her if I knew that. And yes, I did go to Starbucks after. That was the first thing that I did after calling my mom. But anyway, so that said, what I did leading up to the appointment, like the week before basically, is I went through all of her things that I had. Toys, blankets, collars, clothes, literally accessories, anything that she had that was either old and used and needed to be thrown out. Basically anything that was hers, I either gave away, like to a shelter or like to Goodwill or whatever, threw away because I was like, I don't want to keep this and no one should reuse this, or I kept for myself. And I will say there's very little things that I kept for myself. I'm keeping a lot of the collars that she wore through the last couple of years. I'm also keeping the blanket that she slept in right now. I can't have the heart to get rid of it. The blanket that she had, that she mostly slept in, and also the blanket that she had when we took her to the vet, or I took her to the vet, and I did go by myself. And I'm glad that I did that, by the way. But everything else, like I said, we either threw out or we saved for our future kitty. And I did that all like the week before, and the day of, anything that I still had that either she was still using or that I still needed, the day of I cleaned it, and either packed it away, threw it away, or something along those lines. For example, her stroller, I did not realize she had blood on it, from her injury or from her cancer. That's how bad it was. And I washed it the day of, because luckily when I gave her her medicine, and I had to give it to her early in the morning and then like a couple of hours before we left, it makes her so drowsy and so sleepy she sleeps the rest of the day, which is great for me because it gives me time to calm down of having to take her to the vet. In this situation, I was able to keep myself busy without the constant reminder of her, which is sad, but like it helped. So I was able to clean things, put things away, so on and so forth, because she was sleeping on my bed all day. And so anyway, I was able to do that, and at first I felt bad about it because I felt like I was purging her from my life before she's even left my life, which I'd also like to point out, she's always going to be with me, even though I like to think of her up in heaven bugging the crap out of our 2 family dogs who have passed away years before. I also like to think of her as like the star or the one saving space for my future kitty collection up in heaven, because Lord knows that I'm going to have many kitties after her, and she's the favorite and she's the first, so she gets a special spot. And I also liked, I'll say that later I guess, but anyway, I was able to, you know, get all that done and put away, and there's a closet that we typically keep Kiki's litter box in, which is where the new kitten's litter box is going to be, but I've turned that into the kitty closet. So like anything that we have kept for the future cat, whether it be like the stroller, the litter box, or like I still had litter left over, and so on and so forth, that is all in there. Like all of Kiki's things I've washed, I've cleaned, they're all in there ready for our next kitten, which is great because that means that there's a lot of things that we don't have to buy for the new kitten. And we are getting like new toys and things like that, but you know what I mean. And it's, excuse me, I had to burp. It's out of sight, out of mind. Even though I've been thinking about getting a kitten so much every single day, like that stuff that is still hers in my mind is away, so I don't have to see it, I have to look at it. That's it. I also did, because we're getting ready for the new kitten, we've had to do a lot of like reorganizing and removing and like putting things up in places so cats can't get to it, and like putting things away so the new kitten can't get to it. So that meant that I also did that as well. I reorganized my office a little bit. We've reorganized the living room a little bit, not like too much, but like it enough to like when I came home it felt different. So the vet, I'll have to say, if you live in the Orlando area, Bay Hill Cat Hospital, they're amazing. I've mentioned this like so much, but like I absolutely love them. They were so great, even with the whole social distance thing, which really sucked because I did have to keep my mask on the entire time. As much as I wanted to bury my face in her fur, I wasn't able to, but like I just had to pretend that that barrier was not there in my mind. But they were so good. I came right on time. I had her in the carrier, I walked in, and they, because right now I mentioned it before, that they're only allowing you to go in if it's like a special case. So they immediately came to the door and they walked me straight into the room, so I wasn't like touching anything. Like I literally didn't touch anything other than her and her pet carrier, and then I think the door, like when I left, like that was it. So like very good at dealing with vet stuff during a pandemic. But they were so good. They opened the door and it was a nurse and a doctor who were taking care of everything. Very quickly gonna go through this. Okay, so they gave her a sedative, because she was really antsy, and probably more antsy than usual because she, you know, was in a lot of discomfort and a lot of pain, I'm sure. So we gave her that, and as soon as they gave her that, it was really weird because she pretty much became a rag doll. She, like, you can move her and do whatever you wanted, which was bittersweet for me, because on the one hand she wasn't fighting and crying, on the other hand, like, she also wasn't herself. And they basically moved me to her head so I could just like be with her, and anyway, so I talked to her, whatever, everything was fine, and then they gave her the medicine, and listened to her, and they told me, as soon as they told me that she was gone, I just like, I took my hands up, like I stopped touching her, and I immediately walked away and turned away from her. And I think that was because, like, in my mind, like, once the soul has left the body, it's just flesh. Like, I understand there's a respect to taking care of, like, the body, you know, like funerals and cremations and stuff like that. But, like, especially because there was nowhere I could bury her, and there was nowhere even where I could, like, spread her ashes. Like, it wasn't something that really mattered to me. So as soon as she was gone, I wanted nothing to do with it. They were really good, I will tell you. Before we did anything, we paid for it. We made the decision on, they gave me 3 different options, like 1, taking her ashes back home, 2, taking her body back home, which I can't imagine doing that, and then 3, cremating her, and they have a cat cemetery that they would spread her ashes for me, which that was what I ended up choosing. I personally wanted to, because I am an organ donor, my personal opinion was to have her be used as kind of a cadaver, in a sense of like being used for medical students, so they maybe could study her tumor, how it moved, how it worked, and, you know, hopefully maybe they could like help stop, you know, cat cancer or something like that. But honestly, that thought, like, I could barely even get words out when they asked me that, so like that just went pfft. But that did come to mind. But anyway, after she was gone, they wrapped her up. The doctor was so sweet. They were like, you've done so good the last 6 months of dealing with all of this. And also, I'd like to point out, when we first made the appointment, they told me they were going to do a checkup first and then call me in. But I think because of, they looked back at the records and they realized, oh, yeah, we're probably going to have to do this. They took me straight in, just like, there was no waiting or anything, which I'm glad, because as soon as I parked, I was like very anxious and uncomfortable. But anyway, went to Starbucks, where I sat and I called my mom. We cried for a little bit. Went to Starbucks once I was able to console myself, and then came home, and that is when my problems really began, because I walked in expecting a little kitty to come and greet me hello, like she always does, and when I don't see Kiki after I've come home, I look around for her, because typically she's around the corner, and then as soon as she sees me, she meows at me and she comes and follows me around. Of course, she wasn't going to be there, but that didn't stop me from looking for her and almost calling her name out, being like, Kiki, where are you? And that's when that's when it hit me again, that I realized, like, because that was something that I was not expecting. Like, I was expecting, like, okay, that looks weird because her stroller's not there. Okay, that looks weird because her perch isn't there up by the window. So I expected that. I didn't expect to automatically look for her. And that's something, one main reason why I'm sharing this video is that is something that I didn't even think of. The routine of opening the bathroom door and expecting a little kitty to be sitting on the sink. Or, you know, one thing that bugged me like every single night almost this week is any extra water that I have in my water bottle when I come home from work, I always pour in her water bowl, because I always forget to give her water at night. So I just automatically do that. That way there's nothing in my water bottle. So when I came home and I had water in my water bottle, I was like, it reminded me that she wasn't there. So now I've gotten to the habit of pouring it out, like on my way to my car, just because, like, I don't want to get home and then be reminded she's not here. But like yesterday, which was Thursday, I think was literally the only day I didn't cry. about her. First day, obviously. Second day was really bad, mostly because another thing that I didn't really think about was because my husband works mornings and I work evenings, there's times during the day or times at home where he's not home and I'm home by myself, or not usually by myself. And I had this realization that I wasn't going to have someone to just talk to, you know, chat with or whatever. And then I realized that I've never had time really, other than when the college program, when I was in the CP housing or in like my dorm, other than those 2 times, I've never been home and not had Kiki or a roommate or a family member or somebody that was home. And that also hurt. That was something else I did not think about. But luckily, because Jared and I do want to adopt another kitten, and I was going to give myself time, but because of these routines, because I do, you know, miss having a furry little creature to talk to, or it's like someone to play with or keep me company, we are going to be going to a nearby cat cafe to look for a cat, and if we don't find one, we're going to go to another cat shelter. I'd also like to point out that part of the adoption papers that I was looking at, because I'm all ready to go do this, is you can donate to the Humane Society shelters when you're adopting the cats. Excuse me, I just had dinner. And Kiki's merch that I designed, which I'm going to keep up on my Teespring store. There's Halloween merch and there's also Christmas merch. I didn't get around to do a summer. I completely forgot. A lot happened this year. But all the proceeds that I get, that money goes to the Animal Humane Society in Orlando. And so the money that I've saved up and I haven't donated yet is going to go to whichever shelter we end up adopting our next kitty from. So if you do want to kind of contribute to that in Kiki's honor and get some really cute cat merch, please go visit my Teespring store. Even if you just make the order and it doesn't ship out, like, I'll still end up getting that money in time and I can donate. But yeah, it's been an adventure. Anytime I get sad, I've been trying to, and just in general, whenever I get sad, I always try to kind of think of something happy or do something that makes me happy. And in this sense, I've been daydreaming over getting a new kitten. There's several different cats from the cat cafe that are adorable, and I've been looking at their photos literally all week, pretending that, like, I'm gonna get this one or I'm gonna get that one, and picturing myself doing things with them. And that's been the only thing that has been getting me over this week. And underlining through everything, and this is also something, although Kiki was very stressed and not happy, when I was holding her and crying, she was quiet. And Kiki's never, even if she didn't understand or she wasn't happy about whatever was going on, she's always been very good about comforting me. It's like, I know you're upset, so I'm going to be here. I may not be happy about it, but I'm going to be here to take care of you. And that's something else that I've been thinking of, is she would not want me to be upset that she's gone. She's frolicking. She's not in pain anymore. She's having a great time. Just because I don't have her now doesn't mean I'm not going to see her real soon, you know, up in heaven one day. So that's what I've been trying to think about and focus. I've been really good about everything. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys in case you're in the process of losing someone. I know I've been able to kind of give advice to some people at work who have animals that are either potentially getting sick or getting up there, and kind of just giving advice on what to do. Everyone experiences death differently. Not all pets die the same way. Our first dog died very suddenly. The second dog took forever. Rest your soul, Star. But like, everyone experiences it and everyone's different with it. And yeah, I'm very happy for our new kitty fuzzy baby, and I can't wait to share that experience with you guys. And thank you so much for all of the virtual hugs and everything. And from the last video, like, literally that makes me so happy, and that she has touched so many different lives, and just by popping in the vlogs. And I'm to try and cheer myself up before I start tearing up again, because I've been really good about not tearing up. I am so excited for this new chapter and this new family member, potentially two, I'm trying to get two, kittens that we're going to be having, and it's going to be such a crazy adventure, and it's going to be a great season, and I'm so excited to experience all of it again and experience it with you guys and get to share it all, because I wasn't able to take like a lot of photos and videos of Kiki when she was younger, and that's something that I very much regret. So anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying through this whole entire video. I hope I don't look crazy with this lighting. And of course, wear a mask and check out the merch below. Okay, bye.